In a quiet village nestled between misty hills and old forests lived a man named Eli. He wasn't rich. He wasn't loud. He wasn't the kind of person who drew attention, except for one thing: the box. He was known for the box he carried. It wasn't large or fancy, just a weathered wooden box locked tight with a rusted clasp. Wherever Eli went, through the market square, across the fields, even to the riverside, he carried a small, worn-out wooden box. It was strange, not because of how it looked, but because of what it meant. People whispered about it. "He never opens it," said the baker. "He even sleeps with it beside him," said the cobbler. But no one dared ask him directly. Only children ever tried. "Why do you carry that box, Mr. Eli?" He'd always reply the same way: "To keep my memories safe." But they weren't memories. Inside the box were hundreds of letters, each one written in pain, each one unsent. You see, Eli had a habit. Every time someone hurt him, a friend who broke a promise, a boss who never said thank you, a brother who forgot his birthday, even the cruel remarks from people passing by, he would go home, pull out a piece of paper, and write, "Dear friend, you didn't have to say that. I was just trying to help." He'd pour every ounce of sadness, frustration, and anger into those words, then seal them and place them into his box, never to be read again. At first, it made him feel better. But the years passed, and the box grew heavier, not in size, but in weight. His back began to ache. His footsteps slowed. His laughter vanished. One day, on a gray sky afternoon, Eli sat by the riverbank beneath an old willow tree, the box on his lap. The breeze danced in the leaves, but his face was still. Then, a soft voice broke the silence. "You carry that thing like it's your shadow." He looked up. An old woman, with kind eyes and silver hair, stood before him. She wore a faded shawl and held nothing in her hands. "It is my shadow," Eli replied. "It's everything I've been through, everything I couldn't say." She sat beside him. "I used to have a box, too. Mine was made of iron," she said. Eli glanced at her, curious. "What was in yours?" "Diaries, letters, lists of people who hurt me. Times I was wronged. Every injustice, every betrayal. I called it my proof. Proof that the world was unfair." "What did you do with it?" She looked at the river. "One day, I let it go." "Just like that?" She smiled gently. "No, not just like that. It took me years. But eventually I realized carrying it didn't heal me. It only made the pain permanent." Eli lowered his eyes. "I'm afraid I'll forget what they did if I let go." The woman touched his hand. "Maybe forgetting is grace. Maybe remembering doesn't mean carrying. Maybe healing means giving yourself permission to put it down." That night, Eli didn't sleep. He sat by candlelight, staring at the box. He opened it. The letters smelled of dust and time. The ink had faded, but the emotions hadn't. The first letter, to his childhood friend Jonah, who once pushed him into the river and laughed. He read it slowly, tears building. Then, without thinking, he lit the candle's flame higher and burned it. One by one, he unfolded and read the rest. To his father, who never once said "well done." The words came out jagged, scraping against old wounds he thought had long since scarred over. His vision blurred, and he had to blink hard to clear it. To his ex-lover, who left without a word. He had tried to hate her, tried to forget. But reading the letter now, he felt only a hollow ache, like the echo of a bell long stopped ringing. To his teacher, who made him feel small and undeserving, he clenched the letter so tightly the parchment crumpled. Shame, sharp and fresh, flared in his chest. To the stranger in town who mocked his limp, a wound from a battle fought long ago, worn now like an old, aching scar. Some letters made him cry. Some made him shake with rage. His chest heaved, the old fires inside him roaring to life. But this time, he didn't fuel them. He let them burn out on their own, leaving only embers behind. But some surprised him. There were moments of laughter tucked between the bitterness. There were memories of kind eyes, of warm hands on his shoulder, of someone once believing in him when he couldn't believe in himself. And then, folded at the very bottom of the stack, stained at the corners as if it had been touched 1,000 times, was a letter addressed to himself. He read the words slowly. "Why weren't you stronger? Why didn't you speak up?" His hands trembled as he held the paper. He saw himself, Young, small, scared, shrinking in the face of anger, biting his tongue until it bled, hiding bruises not just on his skin, but inside his spirit. For a long moment he couldn't breathe. The forge, the letters, the quiet afternoon all seemed to blur and fade, leaving only him, and the boy he once was. He pressed the letter to his chest, closed his eyes, and whispered so softly that only he could hear, "I forgive you." And then he burned that one too. By sunrise, the box was empty. Ashes curled in its place. Eli stepped outside. The air felt different, the sky clearer. His chest, lighter. The villagers noticed. He walked straighter. He smiled more. He listened when people spoke. He still remembered everything. But the weight was gone. He didn't carry his pain anymore. Years later, a little girl in the village was crying under a tree. Eli passed by. "What's wrong?" he asked. She sniffled. "My best friend said she didn't want to play with me anymore. I wrote her a mean letter, but I don't want to send it." Eli sat beside her gently. He pulled out a blank page from his coat and handed it to her. "Then write it. Write everything. But when you're done, don't put it in a box. Give it to the wind or the fire. Let it go." "Won't I forget how she made me feel?" the girl asked. "You'll remember what mattered, not the pain, but the lesson. Life will always hurt, but holding on to it won't protect us. It only chains us to the past. When we learn to let go, not to forget, but to set ourselves free, we make space for peace, for healing, and for joy. We are not what happened to us. We are what we choose to carry, and sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to put it down."